Hello, Coop. Welcome. I'm gonna try and be a bit quieter. The soundproofing is pretty good in this apartment, but I don't want to wake up my roommate since he has work in the morning. And let me turn off the volume on my stream so it's not going through my microphone. So yeah, welcome, Coop. We'll give a 2 or 3 minutes to see if anyone joins. We have 11 games for this one because we have the one that my computer crashed before I could do it on the last stream. Yeah, so we'll just give it a couple minutes. Yep. Hey, me. Okay. Yeah, welcome everyone. It's a little late, but I don't feel like going to bed yet, so we are streaming. Yep. Ooh, autumn seasonal was just autumn. Fuck, I cannot talk. Autumn seasonal top cut was just post. Let's see if any of my friends made it in. My goat mysterious player. I haven't seen him forever. I won a team tournament back in the day, and we see Rye versus Dark was a pretty big game. Let's see. My goat A12, my goat DJS, my goat Who, lots of friends making it. That's awesome. Yep. Anyway, with that commented on, well, I guess I'll just get going into the stream. Why is the stream stuck on? Is the stream stuck on this for some reason? What the hell? Yeah, sorry, Coop. My ass was. Why is my stream not? The hell? Oh, I see why I did. I put it on the wrong window. Yeah, my asthma's pretty bad, especially at night. So sorry, everyone. But we're just gonna push through it as best as we can. Inhalers only do so much. Anyway, let's get into it. So first we have a game 20 because my computer crashed earlier. So we have Gurwini versus TT. I believe this is Gurwini's second game, so this is fighting for his life at this point. And TT, I believe, is their tags like Tic Tac. But I think this is their first game, so obviously they want to win this to start their run. So looking at the matchup here, this Skarmory on Gurwini's side is really scary, like defensively. There's nothing that really wants to break through it. Like, Meg might boom into it, and then you can maybe force it out, but it can always, like, roost up on Hippo later, which is really scary. The Shaman's also very strong here. Not great switch-ins. We have Metagross. That's about it. I guess, like, a really special defensive Tentacruel. That's going to get worn down really fast. Especially with Hippo's Sand removing Lefty's recovery on TT's own Tentacruel. On TT's side, though, I will say this Gyarados is pretty scary as always. Yes, there's some checks, but chip down the Starmie, chip down the Shaman, get a Waterfall flinch, it just wins the game. In addition, this Mismagius is looking pretty good. Yeah, I see everyone left because I'm coughing. I'm sorry, everyone. I feel really bad about it. My asthma is just really bad at night, by the way. Mismagius, we see it here. Where the hell did I get pink? One second. One second. This Magius is pretty solid. No ghost resist outside Weavile. So that's pretty free to spam. It's oh, not Weavile. Sorry. No ghost resist outside Skarmory is what I meant to say. And obviously, Thunderbolt's going to nuke that. So Miss Mag's looking pretty good. The rest of the team doesn't look amazing. I could maybe even see the freaking Pikachu coming just because he's so dire in the Skarmory matchup. But I don't know. Having a drop of your top 6 for fucking Pikachu feels so bad. Like, it's honestly just not a bad matchup here, but having to cut something for it is just, like, so bad. So, yeah, I'd give Gurwini the matchup here. Let's get into the game. So, Gurwini on the left, Tic Tac on the right. Metagross lead into Skarmory. Skarmory gets a free rocks. This managed to do Shalbo, and oh my god, that's Specs. That does 60 to Shaman. He just, yeah, I mean, when you switch 8, does have a Ghost Resist. That's just going to go down. Stone Edge miss. Oh no, he's going to Shalbo again, and that's just going to do Queen 85 to this Mamoswine. It's Scarf now, so he can easily go out to Hitmonchan on the Stone Edge. Yeah, Hitmonchan is going to take a ton, but like, so it's probably not that fat of a Hitmonchan, but still, like, that forces it out. Drain Punch is going to do nothing to Dusknoir here. Ice Enjoy 4-1. Holy Life Orb, Batman. That is a... I mean, by the Stone Edge damage, we did kind of know the Hitmonchan was really offensive, but still. Thunder Punch could do, like, barely anything, but it's going to get the Para, and Hitmonchan's going to go down to its own Life Orb here. Yes, let's say Mismagius. I guess Dusknoir's going to Shadow Sneak or he's going to call it, to call it and go Hippo. Take literally nothing from Shadow Sneak. It's a very weak move off this Dusknoir. And get up Rocks for free. Very good play. Honestly, I don't get going to Mismagius at all, but I guess maybe he forgot what Sneak is. Like, oh shit. But Hippo's get off a free slack off here as Dusknoir is going to burn it. So it does neuter Hippo's damage potential, but like, that's not what Hippo's here for anyway. Hippo's going to Earthquake, do a little bit to the Dusknoir. It's going to get fully paralyzed. This burn is going to neutralize the lefties and actually do a bit of chip on top of it. So that's really nice for Gerwini. Earthquake, and Dusknoir's going to get paralyzed again. That's unfortunate. We see the lefties, obviously, and then we are going to switch out the Hippowdon into Tentacruel. Dusknoir's still getting a lot of health back. This Dusknoir, I feel like this thing just isn't running any HP investment. It would be all in his offense or defense, but he's getting so much back from his Pain Splits. Nerf full Para, Yellow Magic, haha, and that Thunder Punch Para really proving fatal right now. Willis getting their burn on the Tentacruel, and so far all his burns are doing so much chip to everything. Toxic Spikes are going to go up, though. Surf on the Dusknoir gets a little bit of health back with the Pain Split. To all people just joined, I'm really sorry about the coughing tonight. My asthma is just really bad at night, but I wanted to stream anyway. Anyway, Dusknoir is going to Thunder Punch, knock out that Tentacruel. This Dusknoir putting in massive work this game. This Magius again, but you're just, I mean, you got the full part. Like, why would you even go into it? It's, yes, you're forcing a Shadow Sneak, but you aren't making any progress by doing that. I don't get it. Paladin's going to Earthquake, but Dusknoir gets Pain Split here, unless it gets fully paralyzed. Oh no, that's really unfortunate. This means Dusknoir is going to go down here. Shadow Sneak, get off your 9%. You might as well. In comes the Starmie. And Starmie will just quick Surf, knocking out the Hippowdon. But losing Dusknoir there is really unfortunate. And then, wait, is that wasn't even Specs? That was fucking Scarf Mismagius the whole time? So your Scarf no, there's no way Scarf Mismagius is freaking 60. That was just a slower Starmie for some reason. I'm not sure why. And then, yeah, he's going to do so much damage. And then we do see Scarm getting healing up. And you do get in the Metagross, but, like, I don't know, even Bay and Thunder Punch, and it lets in the Hippo out of the Veil. And that does 32. That's, oh my god, they're Para. That's 2 Thunder Punch Paras this game. One from Hitmonchan, one from Metagross. That's gigantic. And, oh no, another full Para. Wow, these Paras are just getting the bear of Gerwini. Not much he can do. And, oh, yikes. God. This is the most Yellow Magic game of all time. This Yellow Magic is going to knock Gerwini out of the tournament. You hate to see it. Mamoswine comes in, but it's just going to die of poison. He has the Earthquake here, but Gyarados can just come in from the back. Stone Edge calling the Gyarados. Fantastic play from Gerwini, but I think it's a little too late. Metagross comes out and Hariyama comes out, but Hariyama shouldn't be able to 1v1 this. Especially with Metagross packing Zen Headbutt. Metagross is running Zen Headbutt, that's going to be the end of the game. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, that Dusknoir and the Scarming were both in really good positions. They just got paralyzed down. Like, what can you do? That's unfortunate. I mean, not even like Thunder Wave. Nothing was trying Thunder Wave here. You just got paralyzed by 2 separate Thunder Punches. Like, that's brutal, but that is Pokemon. It's DPP especially. Sometimes this just is how it goes. So, win for Tic Tac. Very unfortunate. It does knock Gerwini out of the tournament. But they still have one more game, so we'll see how they do in that one. Maybe they can get a win. But yeah, Tic Tac will move up to 1-0. Now onto the main games for this stream. Now that one that crashed my computer is done. So game one, we have CBB Crash and Boom Bang, noted old gen player, very, very strong Smogon player. I don't know if he's played too much draft, but obviously he is coming to this tournament being one of the favorites out of the Smogon crowd to win the whole thing. On the other side, we see JHM. Some I don't know, but their team's very interesting, so definitely, have some potential here. Starting out on CBB's side, this Raikou goes bonkers. All you have to do is rush Shuckleberry, and then the Dugtrio can't knock you out. Obviously, like, you might need some bulk if it's banded, but still, like, Raikou goes insane here. And Suicune also looks very strong. Only real check is Rotom, and, like, we keep seeing the HP Dragon Suicunes for Kingdra, but honestly, I can see it again. Like, there's no other water resist you need to hit. And then we also see this Mismagius into Ghost Resist Honchkrow, which obviously can't come in, can't sucker, but I can easily see us run Colbur on Mismag with like Shadow Ball. Oh, I guess the Scissor also resist Shadow Ball. Like Shadow Ball, T-Bolt, HP Fire with like a Colbur Berry. If either of them try to pursue or sucker sucker punch you, and you can just knock them out back. And we are dropping viewers like flies, but that's okay. So yeah, pretty strong offensive matchup for CBB looking at this. Suicune, I mentioned Suicune is also very strong here. In addition, the spinner Kabutops can spin as Woma's Mag since if it's in the rain. So spikes aren't guaranteed to stay up, but definitely could help. On the other hand, JHM's Rotom looks pretty decent if it can get a burn off on that Snorlax. And also, the Kingdra is very strong here. Obviously, you have the Suicune, you have the Bronzong, but neither of those have natural recovery, and both are going to get worn down. So if JHM can get in a position where those are low enough, Kingdra can just queen endgame pretty easily. And to be fair, Kabutops is really good at breaking those two down for the Kingdra. It can do a lot of damage to them, especially against a Swords Dance on something like Bronzong. Or even on Snorlax potentially. So I know, this match is pretty even. Both sides have really strong threats here. I think it's a pretty even matchup. So with that, let's get into the game. So we have CBB with this epic Tyrantrum Lance avatar on the left, and JHM on the right. So let's get in the game, see if we see a big upset. So Mismag League into the Mesprit, and it's just going to taunt here to prevent rocks. Gyokul Lewis on the him on top. Pursuit's going to do 38, so it's like probably has some decent offensive investment. It's gonna have a Lumberry so it doesn't get burned there. And Citrus on the Mismag's gonna heal it back up. Well, again, Pursuit but you can't switch. He is in Pursuit range now. He's just gonna Shadow Ball, get some chip into the him on top, but and he can do it again obviously because that Spin drop is gonna be this him on top's gonna end up really low. But the Mismag's actually going Destiny Bond trading with the Hitmontop. Very smart. If he can get his Hazards of Layer and Kabutops is not running Spin, this could easily be a big thing for CBB. Bronze's going to Shadow Ball, get a bit of damage off, but Iron Ball getting a Trick Iron Ball onto the Bronzong meaning that Dugtrio can just do a ton with Earthquake, but he doesn't knock out. Dugtrio's obviously not that strong in this gem with only a base attack. The outcome is this weekend, so we can just start setting up on this or just click Surf. Yeah, Bronzong good booming. So it's 4-4 now. In comes the Rotom. Suicune is going to protect, scout what the Rotom's going to do, and get a bit of lefties. Makes sense. And the Rotom is not lefties. Good to note. We bring in the Roserade here. Take very little damage. It reveals to be Life Orb Rotom. Clicking Substitute. Interesting. As a Roserade gets up the Toxic, Shadow Ball's going to do a good chunk here, with the Life Orb. Another Citrus Berry on CBB's side. So you've seen 2 Citrus Berries. 9 item. You see that frequently in Gen 4. Energy Ball again, so we're getting this thing pretty well. It's going to get a Pain Split here. Yeah, it's got a Pain Split. That makes sense. But Energy Ball should do a good chunk, if not knockout. Yeah, it's a pretty frail Rotom. Out comes Mesprit. And Snorlax is going to be a switch. Takes virtually nothing. Rocks up for JHM. In return, it's going to do a lot of damage. And we see the third Citrus Berry of this game. What is going on? That's the most Citrus Berries I've seen in a game this tournament. Very interesting. Mesprit is going to knock out the Roserade, switch with Psychic, and in comes Raikou. We can start setting up here, or we can just click Protect. So we're going to click Psychic here. Thunderbolt is not going to knock out the Mesprit, so Psychic's going to get some good damage off here. Obviously, we're going to start healing some of it with the lefties, and Protect is also smart there, just get some more healing. And T-Bolt to knock out the Mesprit. Then out comes Kingdra. But Kingdra, is this thing Scarf? No, it's a substitute Raikou. Sub on the Dragon is very strong here. Kingdra should be taking so much passive damage. Protect, yep. Force more poison, why not? But the Kingdra reveals Rest. Is it Chesto Berry? It is Resto Chesto. This is a very dangerous position for CBB. Waterfall breaks the sub, and Raikou is going to Thunderbolt, but that only does 47. Out and locks into Outrage. There is no Steel type anymore. In comes Suicune. Does Suicune take this hit? Suicune is going to protect, trying to get Kingdra to get the 2-turn and get confused, but he doesn't get it. Outrage is not going to do enough. And HP Dragon, once again, we keep seeing that in this tournament. This is going to confuse the Kingdra. It's not so 50-50 it can move, and you protect, you might as well try and get it to hit itself. Kingdra does go down to self-confusion hit. In comes the Scizor. Is it Swords Dance? Suicune's going to call mine. Scizor is going to Swords Dance here. Hey, Suicune is just going to Surf, but that's not going to knock out, and Scizor is going to quick Bug Bite, knocking out the Suicune. And I don't think Sorax was to hit, especially Zymer and Superpower, but yeah. And that's a clean win in the end from JHM. Very well played, preserving that Scizor in the back and getting it set up at the very end to win the game. This is probably one of my favorite games I've seen so far, of all the citrus berries, and we saw the smart One Berry of Pursuit. We saw the Dragon Dance Resto Chesto on the Kingdra, the White Forward Paints with Room. Fantastic prep on both sides. I really like this. Cool Raikou set exploiting his own Toxic Spikes makes a lot of sense. Very, very well played by both players, and JHM takes the narrow victory over, in my opinion, one of the best players in the tournament. So I believe that this is CBB's first game, so he's going down to 0-1. He'll need to win his next 2 games to continue. I believe this is JHM's first game as well, so he goes up to 1-0 with a big win to start off. Let's move on to, I'm just going to say game 2. It's easier that way. Here we have Soup and Iger. So, Soup is a DET veteran. I believe he's played in all 3 of these. He or she, I'm not actually sure on their gender, but I believe they have played on all 3 of these and done pretty well for themselves, from what I remember. And Iger is a person I don't know too well. I've seen him around. I know him from a couple of Wi-Fi leagues I've played in with some friends, some chill people. So, a very nice guy. Let's get into the matchup. So, the first thing I'm noticing is this T-Tar is a really rough matchup here. I mean, the top 5 all kind of shit on it. Starmie doesn't, but Starmie, you can't switch into Starmie anyway. So it's a really rough T-Tar game. In fact, a lot of his team's pretty rough. Shaman's very strong here. I mean, Venusaur can't come in, but if he gets the F drop, the Psychic's going to blow it away. Gengar is okay, but there is the Pursuit Skuntank, obviously, it kind of neuters it. Yeah, I don't actually see what Soup has going for him right here at all. Oh my god. Maybe the Espeon and Gengar combined can push through Muscle through the team, but I don't know. And it's not like Soup is great resistant to everything here. Starmie, you pretty much necessitate the bringing of Cradily to check it, but Cradily just is not great into it. You have to bring some sort of Chople, Spadef, Cradily to cover both of those, and that's not a position you really want to be in. In addition, Iger's Starmie's a very good spinner, so Fortress can't really get up hazards, as Starmie can just Psychic a potential Gengar coming in to try and block the spin and knock it out straight up and then spin the following turn. Yeah, I know this is a very one-sided matchup, I'm not going to lie. I don't see a lot Soup can really do. Wait. I think I just may have screwed something up. 1 second. I think I may have forgotten to update Iger's team. Did I forget to update Iger's team? I did. Oh my god, I am so stupid. Yeah, I was like, I have a team. Okay, we're going to do some live editing. I'm a fucking dumbass. I just forgot to update Iger's team for the previous player in this slot. Wow, I am stupid. I am so sorry. That is really embarrassing, but also I'm kind of tired, so, it's fine. I was like, I feel like this team is familiar. Why do I feel like this team is familiar? Especially because I'm pretty sure we're showcasing one of that team's games later in the... Yeah, we're showcasing them in Game 4. I was like, I've seen this before. Okay, let's take 2. Try it again with the correct matchup this time. So now looking at this, Soup's Tyranitar suddenly looks a lot better here. I mean, obviously there's still the Hitmontop and Scarfinger Revenge in my like and Scizor, but I think Banded T-Tar's not bad here if you can just eliminate the Hitmontop, which is definitely doable with the combination of Gengar and Espeon. Iger's Scizor looks very strong into this team. Obviously, there's Swampert can take it on, and there's Fortress can sit on it, but those, I mean, again, as I keep saying in this tournament, not a lot has a reliable recovery. And with rocks from Yuxi, even spikes from Roselia, that's really strong. Albeit, Iger does not have a spin blocker, and Fortress does come in on Scissor pretty easily. And even a choice Flygon or a Yuxi not packing HP Fire, it comes in a lot. So it's going to be hard for Iger to keep his hazards up because Fortress can't spin very reliably here. I will say, Soup's Gengar looks very strong now. Absol is an okay Pokemon. It can, like, Pursuit Trap it, but not much else really wants to switch into it outside the Scissor, which does not want to catch a stray HP Fire. Funnily enough, this Venusaur is kind of hard for Iger to break if it runs, like, a Leech Seed set. You just don't have much to really deal with it outside maybe you see, and, like, I guess starting to set up with, like, Scizor, but Venusaur has speeds and can Subseed all over it. Venusaur is definitely coming in Gerald, but my logic's very hard for Soup to break otherwise, so Venusaur is definitely a must bring here. It also helps with Raikou. Yes, Raikou gets extra sensory, but so T-Bolt, like, but if he brings both grass types, T-Bolt HP grass extra sensory doesn't hit the Cradily at all. This Raikou is in a really rough position if both grass types come. I know, I think I still slightly lean Iger's favor on the matchup, but it's pretty even here. Now let's get into the game and have, like, the actual right team. I didn't screw that up. So you have Weed, Gengar versus Flygon. Flygon's going to U-turn. It's definitely Scarf. Obviously, it's faster. Gengar is going to Will when the Absol comes in. This is really rough because obviously that's Absol's main thing it does. Gengar is going to taunt, but what's Absol going to do anyway with, like, what's Absol going to do anyway with a status move? Anyway, Gengar's going to Boom. So that takes out the Absol, but trading your Absol for their Gengar is pretty damn good. Fortress is going to go down immediately to Flygon Flamethrower. That's really rough for Soup because that was his main way of getting up hazards. Perch just going to Yawn, Hitmontop switch in, force it back out. But without Rocks up, that's not forcing much progress. Yeah, Milo just comes in. That's a very offensive Swampert. What the hell? That's... 1 second. That Swampert did 33 to Milo at -1. Is that freaking... That might be Earth Plate or Soft Sand because that did so much damage. Just... Like, probably a more special defensive Milotic, and it's a very offensive Swampert with probably boosting. I did that much at +1. That's wild. And then we go switch into the Flygon Tyranitar. Tyranitar coming in here is pretty bad for Soup here. Flygon's got Earthquake, and yeah, it's a very offensive Swampert. It's taking 45 from a Scarf Flygon. Swampert's going to Ice Punch, but the Flygon switches Scouting and Ice Move. Very smart. Hitmontop comes in. Gets off a close combat doing 38. Oh my god, this Swampert is so frail. Swampert clicking Yawn, forcing out the Hitmontop again. Milotic's going to come in and he can just Earthquake and do a good chunk, but Milotic can just recover up on this pretty easily. In comes T-Tar, but just going to recover. So then the Sands go Renegade. The leftovers, and in comes Hitmontop on Tyranitar. Tyranitar's going to crunch, doing negligible damage. This forces out. In comes Swampert, but this is going to go down to a fighting move, yeah. Close combat picks up the KO on Swampert. So Iger is now up 5-3. In comes Ambipom, and with the Hitmontop at -1, it can do good damage. Scizor comes down Ambipom. I guess Ambipom is good Fire Punch here, but a stubble into Hitmontop is really free. Or its last resort, okay. That would have done like no damage to Scizor anyway. In fact, I don't really agree with that set here because that just allows Scizor to start like clicking freaking Swords Dance in your face. It does do a lot of damage to the Hitmontop, though, making it go down the sand before lefties can heal it. Tyranitar comes back in, but in comes Flygon. And, oh my. There's a Scarf Tyranitar, and that Flygon turn 1 was... Wait, 1 second. So there's a Scarf Tyranitar, and that means Flygon turn 1 was faster than Gengar naturally. So this is a pretty slow Gengar. Interesting. Anyway, Tyranitar's going to crunch as the Scizor comes in. Obviously, Scizor resists to this gen. Quick crunch. Is Scizor just going to Swords Dance? Yes, it is. So it just comes down to if Soup's last Pokemon can take on Scizor. Crunch is going to knock out the Scizor. It's going to Swords Dance again. Playing with fire, risking the Crunch crit, but it does not. Soup does not get it. And in comes Cradling. This is going to go down +4. Bullet Punch, obviously. And that's a very dominant win for Iger. Interesting seeing the Flygon faster than the slow Gengar. I really like, this is interesting Swampert. I don't know if I like fast, frail Swampert in this matchup. I really don't know if I like that into stuff like Scizor and Flygon that you really need its bulk for. And also with the Raikou, I guess you brought Cradily, but I don't know, I don't love this Pert set here at all, I'll be honest. And Ambipom Fake Out Last Resort doesn't, I mean, sure it can hit Scizor, but like, you see right here, it's a Swords Dance set, so even if you've gotten up to +4 on the Ambipom and just KO'd everything from there, it's really risky. Pretty fine Gengar though, and Absol coming on Will was unfortunate for Iger. But getting that trade, trading your like 3-point Absol or 4-point Absol for the 16-point Gengar is obviously very in your favor. So yeah, good win by Iger. Very well done. And on to the next game. Let me go here. So here we have Cactus Wave versus Typhoon Carter. Typhoon Carter is one of the hosts of the Revival tournaments, a series of ADV and DPP tournaments aligned with some people like Jim Niffy Cool, also run by one of our mods here, Gold Mason. So very exciting. I'm really happy to have him in the tournament. His opponent is Cactus Wave, someone I don't recognize, but they have Heatran, Raikou, Weavile, so there's always something possible. Looking at the matchup, this Gyarados is insane. I mean, the water resist is freaking Breloom and Dugong, so that's rough. Yes, you have like Rotom, you have 2 electric types which can Scarf and outspeed it, and Crest can take a hit, but Crest is really pressured by Tyranitar because it can't Moonlight. In fact, Tyranitar is just very strong here in general. The only real switch in is Breloom, and I mean, yes, it gets Poison Heal, but like Breloom is not that bulky, and Breloom can also be taken advantage of with stuff like Gengar. Gengar is a very easy Pokemon to take advantage of Breloom on if you run Lumberry, which I think Lumberry Gengar makes sense here if he's not Colbur for the Weavile, which he could be Colbur for the Weavile, to be fair. I will say Heatran looks pretty strong if you can catch a Gyarados with straight HP Electric, but Gyarados coming in is a bit rough because Gyarados is very scary. You don't want to give that thing 3 turns. Raikou is also very strong Cactus Wave side. There's no ground type on Typhoon Carter's side, so if Raikou starts staying up, the game could just be over. Obviously, Sceptile can come in and hit you for good damage of Earthquake, but that's not the best, even if it's banded. I mean, it probably because it's banned actually, but I could see like maybe I could honestly really see a Scarf Entei here just because, or banded with E-Speed just because Raikou's such a freaking problem. But overall, I mean, the Raikou's the one thing Cactus Wave really is going for him, I guess, in the Heatran, but I think Typhoon Carter does have a pretty heavy advantage here with just the rest of those Pokemon being really strong in this game. So we have a Cactus on the left and Typhoon on the right. Hitmonlee and Breloom. Close combat off on turn 1, doing very little to Crest and healing off half of it with lefties. So throwing out Thunder Wave. Hitting the Registeel. Probably the least valuable thing to get paralyzed, so just good for Typhoon. Torkoal is going to do Lava Plume, doing negligible damage to Registeel. Get a Brox. Yes, Torkoal can spin, but Registeel can just Seismic Toss and get off some good chip. Both are getting their lefties. And then out comes Entei. Obviously, Lava Plume's going to do nothing and can't burn it either. Griselda's going to come in. Entei's going to quick Substitute, though. Oh no, is this set going to abuse the fact that Crest is passive as shit? Maybe. It's Cooking Calm Mind. Psychic's going to do nothing. This might just be game over. I mean, it is the situation Crest really struggles with is when something starts substituting on it. And look, we see this, it can just keep cooking substitute. Psychic's not going to do anything. T-Wave's not going to break. T-Wave's not going to do anything. Like, this Entei might just run away with the game here. Let me look at the matchup real quick. So, anything, I mean, I guess, yeah, I don't see anything Cactus Wave can really do about it. Like, you need to get the sub broken and then get Breloom and get off a Mach Punch and get in, like, and then maybe try and gain, like, I don't see anything, especially as it's more physically defensive. This might, just win on the spot. We're just going to keep going. Thunder Wave as it gets free Calm Minds. Lava Plume at +6 doing 71. Oh my god. Yes, Psychic not bringing this up. I think it was 3 Psychics that didn't bring this up. In comes Torkoal, but Lava Plume's going to do so much damage. I just think special defense is not good, people. Entei's just going to knock that out. Entei's going to quick substitute on as to probably expecting a potential boom, or to scout for I guess to scout for Scarf. It's going to do this again. Earth Power doesn't even break the sub. He's at +6. Oh my god, it's crazy. And HP Ground is a Shuckleberry Heatran, but it's at +6. It's just going to knock out straight through that. And that's the end of the game, basically. Breloom's going to Mach Punch. Even if it breaks the sub, it doesn't matter. Lava Plume's just going to Oko. Weavile comes in. I mean, crit Night Slasher bust. Yeah, the crit there I would have knocked out, but it's too little too late. The game's definitely over even if he did crit there. In comes Raikou. Raikou can, Fire Attack was going to do virtually nothing. Yeah, Thunderbolt doing 13. That's nothing, even with a Life Orb. Oh my god. And he's going to knock it out. And then the last Pokemon is Cresselia. Entei, we know, can just knock this out here. So, yeah. Queen 6-0 with Entei. Oh my god. This very good set. I really like this here. I definitely did not think of it in like a on the matchup. I would not follow that. But yeah. Oh, also Chris Reynolds. I didn't even realize Chris Reynolds psychics. That's crazy. I mean, oh yeah, Entei has pressure, so he can only click psychic 8 times. That's really wild. Yeah, just a very good Entei set. I mean, I don't see anything Cactus could have even done about in prep outside maybe like an Earthquake Torkoal and going to that really early. But I don't know if it could pack her. I don't know if, I mean, wait. We saw Spin, we saw Olive, who might could have seen it. It could make a fit Earthquake for Entei, but I don't know if you would think of that as a priority. Yeah, I mean, Wild Entei said it did a lot of work for Typhoon Carter. I mean, not much else to say. It was pretty much a wheelchair, and just this Entei took away with the game. Let's move on to the next one. Here we go on week 4, match 4. We have Cheetah, the person whose team I accidentally had the wrong slot, or I had doubled up earlier, and Nate Dogg. So I believe Cheetah already had a game. I believe they're 0-1, and Nate Dogg, he's moved this the first game. So looking at the matchup here, we see. I will start with on Cheetah's side. This Infernape is very strong. Outside the Gyarados, I mean there are checks to it, but like Infernape can easily U-turn around on the Gyarados and the Donphan and just gain Starmie and Quick Money. Can U-turn out on the Dusclops, gain Skuntank, potentially deal with that with like a Taunt Toxic set or a Taunt Pursuit or Taunt like Crunch. Yeah, this Infernape is very frightening if it can get going. The Starmie is also quite scary here. Right Raikou and the Speed types is good, but Starmie is definitely difficult to deal with. Raikou is pretty strong because both Electricists are weak to HP Ice, but Shaman does have a decent Raikou matchup. Obviously, Raikou can like set up on it, but Shaman can get Seablare drops, it can Toxic it. You know, Shaman is not the worst Raikou check in the world. We do see another Gliscor matchup where you get so many Gliscors have pulled Tyranitar's in this tournament. It's crazy. Yeah, so we see a Gliscor with Sandvale could be a threat. The Gyarados is not bad here, but like you have to watch out for Scarf Starmie, and you do have to chip down the Shaman. T-Tar is pretty solid if it can land its moves on the Gliscor. Yes, there's Registeel, and Registeel is kind of hard for this team to break, actually. So this Registeel could be a huge pain for Nate Dogg. He's going to have to like just continue walloping it. I can even see like a rest set on Registeel. I can even see like a rest curse Registeel going crazy here with like, I don't know what 2 attacks you do. Probably like Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, or Ice Punch. Yeah, probably Ice Punch, Thunder Punch. Yeah, I can definitely see a set of Registeel being very strong here. But let's get into it. Let's see how this goes. Nate on the left, Cheetah on the right. See a Solrock lead and a Bronzong lead. And the trick, Bronzong tricking a band onto the Solrock as it goes close. They're trading rocks. And in comes the Donphan here. Hey, and is this blocking our wrap? Sorry, I'm just dealing with something replacement. And we do see, yeah, sorry, I'm just doing something right now. Hey, back to this, we see the Donphan, and it is a Curse Registeel as I expected. I figured it would be really good here. Continuing a Curse, but the thing with Registeel is it's always very crit prone. Out goes Donphan, and he's actually going to switch out into the Solrock. I don't get that. What were you predicting there? I feel like you just keep going. Subtile, that's gotta be Specs Energy Ball. That's a freaking 47 to Skuntank. In comes Infernape, yeah. It's going to U-turn, signaling it's probably a Scarf set. In comes Starmie. Starmie can just T-Bolt here. Yeah, it's forced out. In comes the Zong. Oh, it's Screen Starmie. Interesting. It's just going to surf and knock out the Bronzong, so it might be a more offensive Starmie even with the screen. In comes Sceptile. We go out to Registeel. Sceptile's got Energy Ball, and even with the, I think that was Spectre's how much it did to Skuntank, but still doing like nothing. It's obviously a special defensive Registeel since it's a curse set. Starmie in, and Donphan in. Starmie's just going to surf into the Gyarados. It could just cook Thunderbolt here if it wants. Sceptile's going to come in. Starmie's going to Thunderbolt, do very little damage. The Registeel comes back in, but can't Sceptile quick something. It's Hidden Power. Probably Ground if I had to guess. Ground looks really good here, but has to get the Registeel really well. Oh no, that's Hidden Power fighting? Let's look at the matchup real quick. Okay, so if you're hitting the Registeel, and so it used to be your Hidden Power. No, I know that's HP Fire. Okay, Hidden Power Fire. I guess also it's Shaman. That makes sense. Yeah, it's Hidden Power Fire. And in comes the Gliscor. Will heal out of range with the leftovers, but we don't know the rules. Anyway, Gliscor's going quick toxic. It appears there was a misclick. That's unfortunate. Then Gliscor's going to protect, get some chip on this Donphan. Donphan is toxic, not that it matters. And Gliscor is going to substitute here. Presumably, Donphan's going to try and toxic again, but that sub is going to block it. Is Donphan running Ice Shard? Apparently not. Gliscor is going to protect, get some more recovery. And Gyarados is now going to be toxic as well. Waterfall will break the sub, but this Gliscor is in prime position right now. It's going to quick protect, and yes, this Gyarados gets spam Waterfall, but it will, take a wild chip in the process. And Starmie can come in, and he's at 64. It should still take this hit pretty well. Yeah, only doing 20%. Donphan comes in on the Starmie, but Starmie can just quickly attack here. Starmie's just going to serve. Maybe he was predicting a T-Bolt, but Donphan is just going to go down. Raikou comes in. The big threat is here. Registeel going to come out, but this Raikou can do a lot of work here. It does get up a Calm Mind. And Raikou is going to knock out the Registeel. Does Nate have anything left for this? Infernape, but I don't think Infernape knocks out from full. Probably not. It's going to U-turn to try and get some chip. In comes Solrock. Thunderbolt will knock it out. Yeah, he has to just keep sacking mons and getting Infernape and do enough damage. U-turn again, but honestly, you can just quick Calm Mind again here if it wants. Or he Empower Ice calling the Gliscor. That's big. Infernape comes back in. Infernape probably kills from 59, but I don't think it matters at this point. Yeah, close combat, it will knock out the Raikou, but it's a little too late. What's going to come in Gyarados, but I don't think Gyarados can win this endgame. It might Dragon Dance here. It's going to quick rest, but T-Bolt's just going to screw this thing over completely. Chesto is cool, but double out into Infernape calling the Sceptile switch. and Teacher, very good play, very heads up play by Cheetah, trying to get their way back into the game. But they U-turn here and do get a crit. I guess you have to, but I don't know. I feel like close combat may have been fine there. Yeah, I would just close combat, but you can go. I guess Starmie was at 63. It could easily take on the Gyarados. Starmie is going to knock out the Tyranitar, but Sceptile can come in. Sceptile clicks Energy Ball, Starmie goes down, but there's nothing Infernape can walk into to salvage this endgame. For is going to Thunder Punch. I mean, you have to go for the Hail Mary, but it's even then we have done enough damage to knock out the Sceptile before Sand knocked out the Infernape. So a win for Nate. The game was played kind of fine on both sides. Reflect is interesting, like mono screen on Starmie. I mean, Scarf Infernape makes sense. I like seeing Solrock Sprout. I love that Pokemon, even if it didn't really do that much. Curse Registeel, as I said, I'm a big fan of, but I don't get why he switched down on the Donphan earlier. I think he just needed to go for it, at least in the early game like that. More in the positioning he was. Subtoxic Gliscor pretty good. Trick banned Bronzong Skull. I like the ban because it lets it knock huge damage onto the Registeel if you need to. Or onto the Gliscor, yeah. Oh yeah, pretty good stuff from Nate and from Cheetah, to be honest. I think it was pretty well played on both sides. Nate is going to pick up the win. I believe that unfortunately does eliminate Cheetah from the tournament. Game 5. We have Ace versus Meister. I believe Ace is already 1-0. I think we saw their first game versus my friend King Eevee. And on the other side, we have Meister, who I believe is 0-0 at this point. So going into the matchup here, we will start with this Kingdra, which there are wall resist. There is a steel type. And Shitbane does have Synthesis, but I still don't hate Kingdra here. I mean, it's definitely not the best it's been, especially because Scarf Electro does outspeed Kingdra in the rain, which is really big, so that can help a lot. Kingdra definitely has a lot to contend with here, but it's a Kingdra that always has the potential to win the end game. On Meister's side, this Shaman looks very frightening. Like, you have Bronzong, not Bronzong, Metagross can switch in, that's about it. Snorlax can come in if you don't get Death Drop, but you always have to worry about that with Shaman. That's Shaman's biggest cheese factor, is they can just see first Death Drop you and force you right back out into another Pokemon. Ace's Metagross looks okay here, but into Bronzong, Blastoise, and Infernape, it's a bit rough. I still could see like an offensive set if you can chip things, but I don't know, it's hard. I could see like maybe some sort of rocker. I can actually see Screens Metagross being pretty decent. There's a lot of Pokemon you can get screens up on with Metagross. Funnily enough, this Mega on Meister's side is very strong. There's no bug resist outside the Bomb 2, which aren't coming. So Specs, Bug Buzz, you can probably just weed Specs or Sash Bug Buzz. Mega get off huge damage. In fact, Ace might be forced to weed Jolteon just because Mega is such a problem otherwise. And if Meister calls that and leads Neo Queen, that could get a huge advantage really early in the game. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I do think I give Meister a slight matchup here. Yeah, Mega is surprisingly a key player here, so we'll see how this goes. Ace on the left and Meister on the right. We see a Electrode lead into Jolteon. Both are going to switch out. They can't really touch each other. And both steals come in. Metagross can't do much. And Bronzong's going to click Hypnosis. Wow. Rocks from Uxie. And Bronzong's dual status, both Hypnosis and Toxic. Okay. Uxie is just going to Rain Dance. And Bronzong is going to Rocks. Uxie's just going to U-turn out. What's it going to go into? Kingdra. But if this Bronzong boomed here, this could be really bad. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Second Hypnosis miss. If that Hypnosis hit, that would be in such a strong mission. Hydro does not knock out Bronzong. You just click Psychic. I don't know. I feel like you almost go for the third Hypnosis there. Like, surely you don't miss 3. But anyway, Hydro Pump's going to knock out the Bronzong. That Hypnosis, imagine if this Kingdra was asleep. That would be so big. Shaman comes in. Metagross comes in. Leech Seed does start chipping down the Metagross. And in comes Blastoise. Metagross can't do much to Blastoise. And out comes Uxie. Obviously, Metagross wanting to preserve health on it. Uxie is just going to switch out to his own Blastoise as the spin comes out. I presume Ace will now spin the rocks himself. Yep, they're trading spins. Makes sense. And with Bronzong gone, Meister cannot get the rocks back up. Shaman's going to quick Seed Flare, do 24 into the Uxie. Not that much, but Uxie doesn't do much back. Yeah, Mega comes in as Uxie clicks Rain Dance, and in is the threat. The rocks have been successfully removed. It just clicks U-turn, though. Uxie is going to get rocks up, and oh no. With the rocks back up, he's going to have to spin again, or else Mega is going to do nothing. Blastoise is going to spin, clearing away for Mega, but that just lets in Kingdra for free. Draco Meteor is going to fire off and do a Queen 85 to his Blastoise, but Yawn will force out the Kingdra. Very good prep from Meister. And Rain Boosted Surf, not that Rain Boost matter, will knock out Uxie. Jolteon comes in. This will, I guess it just knocks out the Blastoise if he can stay in. But I guess with Uxie down, you don't necessarily need the spare anymore. Shaman's going to cook Leech Seed, not take that much from presumably HP Ice. Bad's going to do a good chunk, but Shaman might have Synthesis or just Earth Power. It's Shuckle Berry Jolteon, though. Does the Shaman have Protect to be able to stay healthy? Oh, I guess to Latias it might be a roll. No, he's just going to go hard out to Electrode. That crit does a huge amount of damage to Electrode. That's unfortunate. And it's just going to boom, but Ace get called out and go Metagross, taking pitiful damage. Mega's going to come in. Oh no, a Bullet Punch crit is going to put Mega really well. And that Bug Buzz will knock out the Metagross. Oh, unfortunately, now Mega is in range of anything for Snorlax. Shaman will come in. Shaman's going to Leech Seed, but Snorlax just knock it out for turn, yeah. Infernape comes in here. Infernape is a real strong position, but it's Chople Snorlax. Gliscon will knock out, but sure, whoever Snorlax quits. And Snorlax is just going to boom itself, take out the Infernape, not risk a resist berries or anything. In comes Mega, does have Protect. It does not have Protect. And so Jolteon will knock out the Mega. Wait, crits? I didn't see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess the crits on those two. I guess, yeah, it doesn't matter. But I know, I think Ace still probably had it pretty handily. Very well played by him. I'm happy to see Mega kind of do stuff. But the fact that Mega mandated so much support from Meister's side kind of with me his ability to answer things because it forced the spins frequently. Hypnosis Bronzong, if that hit the Kingdra, it would be a completely different game. We didn't see his item, it could have been one berry, but that's obviously like very unfortunate, missing both Hypnosis, especially the one Kingdra could have been gigantic. I do like the Chople Boom Snorlax, also like plays around a bullshit on Infernape like Shuckle Berry for Earthquake. Just a very, very good set. Yeah, nothing too wild here. Well played by Ace, and I believe that does lock in for brackets at 2-0. And on to our next game. We are past the halfway point. We are getting on to game 6. We have Volty Pichu versus J-Scurf. So two very solid players. I don't know Volty Pichu's team, but that's why I was seeing him around. And J-Scurf, as I mentioned, his first game against who was his first opponent? Crying. J-Scurf is a very strong draft player, so he is fighting for his tournament life here. He is 0-1 after losing to Crying. So he really needs this win here to stay alive. Well, Volty Pichu obviously wants to start off this huge upset and get his first win. So we do see another rain matchup, Uxie Kingdra. That's how it goes. And it is pretty strong here. I mean, like, I think as long as you can get a big chip on Suicune, not much can really do with the Kingdra. Yes, like Scarf Crobat outspeeds it, but you're going to need a good amount of chip to knock it out with Scarf Brave Bird because Kingdra's natural bulk. The Zapdos, though, looks fantastic here. J-Scarf has a lot of trouble breaking it down, and I would say Stab plus HP Ice is very good here. Is Zapdos actually very difficult to break? I can see something like an offensive, a Head Smash Donphan even, but Voltipichu has like Dusknoir and Donphan, and you can switch on J-Scarf's Donphan very effectively. In fact, Dusknoir's a pretty good blocker into J-Scarf's Donphan, so if Donphan tries to spin in just on like Omastar's hazards, he can just go Dusknoir. And Dusknoir isn't the easiest thing for J-Scarf to switch into either with its coverage and Will-O-Wisp. We'll say J-Scarf's Gengar looks amazing here, though. No Ghost Resist outside the Tauros, which doesn't really well come in. Even then, it's a speed tie afterwards, so this Gengar just spams Spec Shadow Ball to the moon, and there's nothing Voltipichu can do about it outside trying out Speed and Rain. But, like, it's going to be hard to get up the rain in the first place when Shadow Ball's doing so much damage to everything. Suicune looks okay here, but I think Zapdos is a pretty solid check to it. And then you have stuff like a... Actually, Zapdos is pretty much the only real check. I guess Haze, Dusknoir helps, but Suicune is looking pretty strong. Metagross is solid outside the Zapdos. Not much really wants to take its attacks. I guess the Dusknoir, but obviously a single Meteor Mash boost, and the Dusknoir is just going down the next hit. I think overall I wean J-Scarf with the Suicune and the Gengar having such good matchups, but Voltipichu's team is very frightening, and that Kingdra and Zapdos are both quite good here as well. So pretty even. I should probably favor Voltipichu just because Zapdos is so good in this matchup. Let's get into the game. So Metagross lead from J-Scarf and Uxie lead from Volti. Uxie is going to give Metagross a Scarf as Metagross Toxics the Uxie. In comes Donphan. It's obviously going to be locked into Toxic, probably predicting a switch. And Uxie's going to get up its rocks. Quick U-turn into Donphan. I assume Dusknoir's coming in. Yeah, to block the spin. Donphan's going to knock off, getting rid of Dusknoir's leftovers, which is one of its primary forms of recovery. We're going to get another Toxic off onto the Dusknoir, but Donphan is going to get burned for our troubles. The Uxie's going to come back in as Donphan gets up its own rocks. Okay. It's pretty good. And Uxie is just going to U-turn out. I assume back in Dusknoir, predicting another spin. But Donphan's just going to quick knock off again, trying to get rid of Uxie's leftovers that it received from the Metagross. Pain Split is going to heal Dusknoir a good chunk, but I don't know. The Toxic's still going to be adding up real fast. Knock off again, but Knockoff's going to be doing virtually no damage here. Earthquake fine is going to do some damage, but Earthquake, the crit on Donphan is going to knock it out with Dusknoir's Earthquake. Dusknoir's going to go out Toxic, but Dusknoir did his job. It preserved the rocks. Gengar's going to come in on Voltipichu's Donphan. Voltipichu's Donphan will take a Life Orb Energy Ball. It's very special defensive and knock out the Gengar back with Assurance. I don't see a situation where Donphan can really spin, though. So Psychic and this knocked out mean that both sides are going to keep rocks up this game. Zapdos comes in, takes the Psychic, does not that much, and Zapdos can just roost off on this. Remember, this Metagross's choice due to the trick from the Uxie early on. Psychic doing another 30. Zapdos takes a Thunderbolt, doing a clean 40 to the Metagross, dealing good chip. I guess he's just saying it, but I don't know. The problem is that with pressure, it's down to just 5 more clicks of Psychic here. The spin drop is really big. Thunderbolt's gonna get it super well. Now but it's not enriching another Psychic, so you just switch to Uxie. And Metagross is actually down to just 6 Psychics left. That's not a lot of PP left on this. Uxie just get a U-turn and does get a crit. That crit probably mattered to knock out the Metagross, so that's pretty big, actually. Because, Uxie's attack is so low. Tauros and Suicune are both going to win. Tauros is going to be double edge. That does a lot to this Suicune. It's a Life Orb. Okay, Suicune's going to miss the Toxic. Oh, that's unfortunate. Suicune's going to protect, get some extra leftovers recovery. This Tauros looking very strong with both Metagross and Gengar down. Double Edge doing 40% to Suicune. That's so much damage. Suicune's going to Surf, knock out the Tauros. But the Zapdos can just come right back in here. Thunderbolt is going to knock out the Suicune. And in comes Cacturne. Cacturne's going to Encore the Zapdos into Thunderbolt. Take not that much damage for it. What's it going to do after, though? Oh no, he's going to go out to Crobat calling the double, but Zapdos just stays in. The Crobat goes down. Cacturne cannot win the game on its own. There's no way. Zapdos is just going to win the end game here. Maybe a Dark Pulse flinch, but no, not going to happen. Surprised. This Cacturne is probably Scarf too if it's us being Zapdos. Well, yeah. And then, Zapdos is just going to win the end game. So, pretty big win from Volty Pichu. The Zapdos put in overtime. It was always going to. This was a hell of a Zapdos matchup. Nothing too crazy on your side with the prep. I think just, honestly, Volty just kind of took the matchup and played it in his favor. Just, did what he had to do. And J-Scarf, unfortunately, could not overcome this pretty tough time against the Zapdos. So, unfortunately, that does eliminate J-Scarf from the tournament. Volty Pichu will move on to 1-0. Next up, we have a match featuring our reigning champion, Vesuvius, who won last year's Distortion Draft tournament, is up against my friend Chiron, who I met recently in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Server. I didn't even know he played Mons, but, we'll see. So, anyway, Vesuvius is obviously the clear favorite here. Vesuvius won last year's tournament. He had a fantastic run. I don't remember if he dropped a game. I think he may have dropped a game. Yeah, I think he dropped a game in pools, so he went X1 the whole time. But very, very dominant run overall. So, definitely a force to be reckoned with. Let's look at the matchup here. So, once again, we see another fantastic Zapdos matchup. Heatran can kind of check it, but honestly, I would consider running HP Ground on Zapdos here. Like, do you really give that much of a shit against Meganium? I guess Meganium is actually kind of strong here, so maybe you do need, but you can always run Heat Wave for that anyway. On the topic of Heatran, Heatran is very scary into Vest. I mean, look at the Fire Resist. It's Quilfish. I feel like Scarf Heatran specifically would be very, very strong here. You can just click Fire Blast or even Flamethrower over and over. Just do so much damage to everything. To be honest, you can just run like Modest. Like my Scarf Heatran outspeeds the whole team. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Heatran hits. What's Heatran hit? 154, 190. Yeah, Heatran has 253, so that should hit with a Scarf 379, and Alexander's 372. So, yeah, Scarf, Flamethrower, or Fire Blast Heatran just goes bonkers. You probably even pack both, honestly, in case Zapdos tries to PP stall you. So, Chiron's Heatran looking very good here. The Kingdra looking okay, obviously, the Shaman, but it doesn't love taking the hits. And Quilfish does speed tie it, but Quilfish has to win that speed tie and boom to stop the Kingdra. Staraptor's normal moves are also pretty good here. Double Edge is pretty spammable. But on Vesta's side, we do see some threats. Zapdos is obviously very good here. Zapdos is difficult for Chiron to take on. He does not have much to break it, and if he can't get in good positioning to knock it out early, it can run away with the game very easily. Alakazam is also pretty interesting here. Outside Scarface outspeeds the whole team. Obviously, there's a Crest, but you can encore that Crest into stuff. And so I feel like a sub Alakazam in particular looks very strong here. So I can see that coming. I don't think the Mag Zone comes. I don't think it has a great... it could come, I guess, if you won't worry about the Staraptor, but honestly, I would consider it with a Quilfish in the last set for sure. Also to note is that Chiron does not have a spinner, so if Vest can start getting up spikes with Cloyster in the early game, that can make a big difference. And Chiron's only rocker is Heatran, and I think Heatran needs to be offensive this game, so you probably can't afford to run rocks anyway. Which means that Zapdos is in a very prime position to just be unstoppable. He might have to run Scarf Rocks, which sounds so bad, but I don't know. It's a really tough time. I think Vest's Zapdos is just so good here. Chiron's Heatran, but the fact Heatran's pressure to be both the rocker and the offensive threat makes life really difficult for it. See, I think I'd slightly give the... This is tough. I think it's about even, but that Zapdos is a huge thorn in Chiron's side for sure. See, a Heatran lead and a Quilfish lead. Heatran is going to go out to Meganium. It's going to get paralyzed by a Thunder Wave from the Quilfish. Quilfish is going to start spiking up, and Meganium is going to get fully paralyzed. In comes the Zapdos. What's Meganium going to do? It's going to Leech Seed here. Okay, get off some chip on Zapdos to start. Zapdos is going to double back out into Mag Zone, and it is Sub-Seed. Okay, that makes sense. But Mag Zone's going to quick its own substitute. Is the Meganium packing Earthquake? It's just going to Flash Cannon here. Is the Meganium packing Earthquake? It's paralyzed, so we are not going to find out yet. Another Flash Cannon. Oh god, a critical hit Flash Cannon. Wow, this Meganium is just not able to do anything today. Holy shit. Nice, I'm going to go Discharge, covering a potential switch. In comes Heatran, but Man's going to Flash Cannon, but it's still behind the sub. The Discharge is very frightening, or even HP Ground. Magneto is going to Lava Plume. Is it HP Ground? No, it's just Discharge. But Heatran gets paralyzed. Oh my god, this yellow magic working its wonders here for Vess. Lava Plume into the Qwilfish. That's not going to do that much. That might be a specially defensive Qwilfish, honestly, if it's doing that little. Makes sense considering it's only real check to Heatran. Another spike goes up for Vess. Waterfall will not knock out Meganium. Meganium will get paralyzed the third time, though. That's unfortunate. It might be a fourth time I lost track, maybe. Get off a Leech Seed into the Zapdos. So Meganium will get a little bit of health back. But Vess is just in such a good position. In comes the Shaman as Meganium protects. And Meganium's going to be paralyzed on a protect turn. Seafoot's going to miss, meaning that nothing happens except the leftovers recovery. In comes the Zapdos. Meganium, oh my god, what is going on with this? Meganium's paralyzed like 6 times. Another protect as but this gives Zapdos an opportunity to sub as well. The substitutes in full force this game. Charge Beam, oh god, and can Meganium do anything? Meganium's going to sub, but it's just Zapdos is going to start boosting, right? What can Meganium do back? Meganium's attack is Energy Ball. That's going to do nothing, and it's only 16 PP. They can only use it 8 times. Yeah, Charge Beam is going to continue. I mean, the power, I don't think it matters. I think Zapdos just wins the game here. Charge Beam is a wild set, and Discharge more power efficient. I mean, you don't even need at this point. Strap just going to quick the Scarf U-turn. Why would you not quickly attack him move? You need to... You needed to click a normal move there if you had it. Just break the sub, try and gain something after, but you don't have anything. Yeah, U-turn is not going to help you here. Do break the sub, but Vess can just quick sub again on this turn, or just Discharge and knock out the Muck. It's at +5. Staraptor comes in, but no way Staraptor KOs from this range. Oh, it's not packing a normal move at all for the Staraptor. That's important for the Zapdos. Discharge is going to knock out. What's Chiron's last Pokemon? It's Kingdra. Yeah, no, this Zapdos just wins. Discharge is going to Oko, and wow, that is... very dominant one for Vess on the back of his substitutes and those spikes. I mean, it was a rough matchup for Chiron, but I will say that Yellow Magic obviously on the Meganium did a lot. But to be fair, Monograss Meganium can't do shit back to Magzone or Zapdos. I don't really get Monograss into Shaman anyway, but yeah, that was a really risky set that for like no reason. You really don't need both Sub and Protect there. I think you're risking this happening. Exactly. Sub is such a common move on Zapdos in Generation 4. It just leads to scenarios like this where it just runs away with the game and just dominates. So Vess is going to return to Distortion Draft Tournament, defending his title in his first battle in his title defense run. A very dominant 6-0 victory. He shows that he has not slipped at all since last year. Still very much a favorite to win again. Going to our next game. Game 8. We have Fabionacci versus Spaghetti. Spaghetti was a replacement, so shout out to him for coming in, taking over this team. And Fabionacci, I believe he's playing the last 2 DETs as well and done decently. So on to the matchup. First thing I'm noticing is Suicune. There's the Water Resist or Roselia and Lantern. Yes, I mean, but Dragon's not a Suicune check. It's not. It's going to go over to Ice Beam. The Lantern definitely comes here. I mean, it checks Jolteon, it checks Suicune. I mean, kind of checks Suicune. Suicune could CM on it, maybe. And it soft checks Infernape. But honestly, Infernape's still pretty strong. Uxie and Donphan help a bit. I could see even just like a classic Scarf Infernape could be really good. Although I could also see something like, honestly, I could maybe even see like a Chillonberry HP Ice set because Dragonite is a huge problem. I mean, because it frightens the Scarf and then it takes the E-Speed. Yeah, but the Dragon Resist is the Fortress, and I mean, Flavor is gonna blow that to smithereens, and then you can just Outrage and everything else. Scissor's okay here. I don't think it's amazing in this matchup. Gengar, on the other hand, is very strong. Ghost Resist Fortress. Yes, please. Gengar can just click buttons in this game so easily. I will say Fabionacci's Gliscor is quite solid here defensively. There's not a ton that wants to break it outside like Dragonite packing an ice coverage move. But he does kind of sit on a lot of this team. But on topic of sitting on things, Uxie is very difficult for Fabionacci to break as well. So I think it's a pretty matchup. Both sides have pretty even matchups. Both sides have good offense and good defense to sure. So let's hop into it. Fabionacci on the left and shoot, I feel bad forgetting their name. And Spaghetti on the right. So we see Paralyze on the Fortress turn 1 as it gets up rocks. U-turn out into Roselia. Fortress is going to get fully paralyzed. Roselia is just going to have a spike here, or a toxic spike. Okay, but this gives a free Infernape. In comes Uxie. Business Infernape's going to do a ton of damage. Flamethrower, yeah. Oh my god, that crit does 66. Uxie's in range of another one. Forces out the Lantern, but this Flamethrower is obviously going to do... Oh, never mind. It's like Spit Up Lantern's doing nothing. But still, that Uxi's really low now. Infrared you turn out into Shaman. Shaman's going to get poisoned, but Natural Cure means that won't stick. And Shaman's going to go on turn, take nothing from Surf. It can just fire off a huge Seafood here if it wants. Or it's just going to switch, get rid of the poison, go into Fortress. Yeah, predicting the Roselia. Good play, good play. Roselia's just a quick HP fire, though. He is an Akaberry Fortress. Makes sense with the Dragonite in the team. But, oh, it's not going to get fully paralyzed. And now we can just go... And now we can just go Gengar knowing that it's going to spin and just block it, yeah. Mischievous comes down Gengar. Gengar's going to quick its own HP fire with a Life Orb, man. Unless it's... I guess he is scouting for the Scarf. I'm sure that makes sense. Mischievous gets Shallow Ball, knock out the Uxie. And out comes Roselia again. Lots of NFEs in this game. Roselia's Inferpsy come and get poisoned, and Roselia's going to Leech Seed. I mean, it's just taking so much chip here. Ferripus forced to U-turn, yeah. But only just 31 to Roselia. A second Toxic Spike goes up. Ice Fang will knock out the Roselia. The Roselia's physical defense is very low. It's very frail, especially without evaluating this generation. Donphan's get Fire Fang on the Fortress coming in. Get it well. Is the Fortress Custap? Oh, you already saw Akasa. Never mind. It's not. Earthquake's just going to knock it out. In comes Shaman, though. Gengar can come in, but it's not going to enjoy taking a Seed Flare. That does 34. I mean, Gengar can't quick a button, but Sludge Bomb. Ooh, the Shaman survives the Life Orb Sludge Bomb. That's wild. That's a very fat Shaman. And Healing Power will knock it out, but Shaman will go down. However, the Gengar going down is huge for Fabianachi. Suicune comes in. He's going to get poisoned, but he very well could have rest. In comes the Lantern. And yeah, Suicune has rest if it's Calm Minding here. It definitely has rest in this game. That makes sense. I mean, it allows you to beat Lantern. HP, Grass, or Ground. I would guess Grass, but it could be either. Discharge does a good chunk, but so we can just knock out with Surf, yeah. Out comes the Dragonite. And there's no Steel type anymore, but Suicune outspeeds and it clicks Ice Beam. It's a very fast Suicune. And Suicune is just going to finish off the game here. This is kind of what I was worried about because Roselia, if it goes down, then Lantern's pretty much just fodder for the Suicune. So a pretty big 4-0 win for Fabianachi. Pretty good. Obviously, that Flame Crow on Uxie early was a big help. I don't know if it was game determined, but it helped a lot. I assume this Mischievous was Scarf based on how I played it, which is a very smart bring here. I like that a lot into a team with a Ghost with Scizor. And the Scizor was benched because, honestly, I guess Scizor's matchup wasn't great. I can see that. So maybe he called that. Yeah, and Toxic Spikes did do work, but they weren't enough in the end. Fire Fang, Donphan's pretty good. And then the Life Orb, I do like the Life Orb Gengar. I think it was very smart in this matchup. Not much priority, not much that can really revenge it. So that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, good win by Fabianachi. Penultimate game of the night. We have our second game of our reigning champion, Vesuvius. So our reigning champion going up against not Adam. I believe someone I've seen around, but I believe he might be new to DPP. So very exciting. On the matchup, we do see not Adam actually is a really good way to break the Zapdos. He is Weavile. And the thing is with Weavile is that the only real check here is Cloyster, and that allows in Raikou. Raikou can easily just sub on a potential Bloom and then start Calm Minding and do fantastic work. Yes, there's Shaman and Donphan, but the fact that Raikou just sets up on Zapdos for days is really scary. I can see a substitute set being very strong here. Very, very strong. On Vesta's side, we do see the Shaman is quite good here. Yes, there's the two Steel types, but as we've alluded to, if they have Heatran doesn't like taking Earth Power. Fortress anyway taking HP Fire. They're very, very good in general. It's pretty even. Like both sides have some good threats, but this Weavile is a gigantic problem for Vest. It also can Pursuit Trap the Alakazam as well, which could be very big because Alakazam's a decent offensive threat here. Yeah, I think I do have to give this matchup to Adam just on the back of Weavile and Raikou. Let's see how it goes. So we see Veseline, not Adam Wing of Mesprit, and Veseline off of Zapdos. Zapdos is going to Charge Beam turn 1 and get the boost. What's Mesprit going to do? It's going to get up Rocks. Zapdos Charge Beam again, and Mesprit's going to Light Scream, and his attacks will do virtually nothing. In comes the Raikou. As Zapdos reveals the sub, it is a very similar set to last game, but Raikou's going to start Calm Minding. Zapdos is going to get Healing Power, Ground, but with the Light Screen, it's doing nothing. Zapdos is forced out into Cloyster. Raikou's going to sub again, though, so even if this course is like Scarf Boom, what can you do? It is Scarf Boom as expected, but that substitute obviously keeping Raikou safe. In comes the Shaman, but with the Light Screen, I don't think it can do enough damage. HP Ice comes out from Raikou. Seed Flare does literally nothing. Oh my god. And Raikou can just continue subbing here. Earth Power is smart, but because of the light screen, that light screen Mesprit doing so much work. Oh my god. Correctly recognizing that Vesta's team is primarily special. Heating Power Ice cleanly 2 killing Alakazam, so you can just quick it again. Alakazam Psychic's gonna break the sub. But Thunderbolt is gonna knock out the Alakazam, not wanting to risk a roll on HP Ice. In comes Magzone, but it's the Raikou packing Aura Spear. We'll see. It's Quick and Calm Mind does the Magzone clicks Thunder Wave, so he did not. I guess not. Adam did not fear the boom on. He did not fear boom from Magzone. I would have subbed there personally. And to be fair, if Raikou subbed there, we'll just won the game. But I feel like you have to have to go for the sub there in case of the boom. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do. Raikou wins here. There's no way he can answer it. Yeah, I mean, this is a Raikou. This is what Raikou does in ADV. It just gets up Calm Mind and wins the game. I mean, Vesta's Raikou matchup was really bad. And the lack of Donphan here obviously hurt that, but like bringing Donphan into Gyarados Weavile was a bit of a tall ask. Even into Heatran, it's not great. So yeah, that's definitely big. So not I'm gonna take over a 6-0 win over the reigning champ. So both Vesta's games have been 6-0s, but in opposite directions. Yes, it's pretty big for not Adam. I mean, this is just very good prep. I really like the Light Stream Aspirant to Calm Mind Raikou, just realizing, hey, Vesta's only physical offense is Donphan and Cloyster. I mean, I guess and Clovish, but Raikou destroys these two, and Donphan obviously like isn't great in this matchup. But if it comes, you have lots of ways to beat it. So good prep Decol on that Light Screen Turn 1, just basically winning the game. On to our final game of the stream. We have Banana Guy versus Lax. So Lax is I think we already, I don't know if we've seen a Lax game yet. I don't think we have. Lax is one of the best players on Smogon right now in both draft and OU, especially OU. He also makes some cool content on YouTube. I recommend checking him out. I think it's just Laxwee on YouTube. Very good videos there. And we see Banana, who is somebody I don't know, but again, as always, with people I don't know, that doesn't mean they can't win. So on Lax's side, the first thing I'm noticing is this Infernape goes bonkers. Especially like I think just like Nasty Plot specifically. Nasty Plot, Grass Knot, Fire move. Even you can run mix with like Close Combat if you want. If you really call it cover Ninetales, I would just run Vacuum Wave honestly to cover the Ambipom Scarfer. Like this Nasty Plot Infernape, if you can get it off, which you can probably get it off on. Actually, it's not much you can get it off on, but you can force a switch for sure. Is very strong. In addition, Lax's Lax's Snorlax is quite scary. Outside the Rotom, there's not much you can do with it. Yes, you have a Hitmonlee, but Hitmonlee doesn't want to come in on Lax. It cannot switch in at all. Hitmonlee is very frail. On a Banana side, we do see a Metagross that looks okay here. I mean, you have the Crest, and then Empoleon gets hit with EQ. Gliscor gets Ice Punched, and Crest gets boomed on. It's like a classic banded Metagross. Looks very, very strong here. I will say the Slowbro is a bit tough for Lax to break. I think Slowbro's going to do a lot of work in this game. I could very easily see a Calm Mind set coming. And outside of like Taunt, Skuntank is not a lot Lax can do about it. So I think I actually give the matchup a little bit to Banana here, but I'd say it's not that much of an advantage. Let's get into the game. So we see Banana on the left and Lax on the right. Banana is just going to fake out on turn 1 with Life Orb, get a bit of chip on this Gliscor. It's going to taunt here, preventing Gliscor from doing anything like roosting. Yep. No, please God. Banana, please don't run double hit. This move does, it's 2.5, this move is 3 base power higher than return and 90% accuracy. Please God, people, don't run double hit Ambipom. It's so bad. Just run return. And he's just going to take a big earthquake here. I guess it can't roost, but like still. And we see Rotom Fan in this game. Interesting. Let me see. What the hell was Rotom Fan here for? I don't know. It hits the Infernape more consistently. You don't risk the Hydro Pump. I do not know why it's Rotom's Fan, I'll be honest. Let's get Air Slash, not do too much to Skuntanks, but Thunderbolt's good to a ton, 60%. Crunch is good to a lot, but Skuntank is going to be low. And it does not have the Sucker Punch, so Skuntank is going to go down. Out comes Infernape. Infernape can just knock this out, or it can just force out Slowbro. Yeah, it's special, so Flame Bird is going to get a big burn on Slowbro, getting rid of over nullifying the leftovers. In comes Snorlax. Slowbro is going to Toxic Blade, does reveal to be immunity. That makes a lot of sense to match up. I don't really see much reason for it to be Thick Vet. It's just going to start cursing. We see Pain Split Rotom, but this might be too late. Frustration, interesting. Is this being mono? Wait. 1 second. Did I fuck something up here? Why do I think I fucked something up? 1 second. No, it is Lax. Okay, I guess Lax just does not have a lot of Gen 4 experience because he just quick frustration into a Rotom. Okay then. Quick crunch after, so at least he knew in prep, but damn. He forgot in prep asking, so he's a stupid Rotom fan. That makes sense. Anyway, Snorlax just gonna have a crunch, knocks out the Rotom, and in comes Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee's gonna bulk up, but it can't do shit to Crest, right? It's gonna bulk up again, but where are you gonna? Oh, and Crest is out of Psychic Move. Okay, fair enough. It's gonna continue bulking up. Does Crest have T-Wave or something? No, Ice Beam again. And Double Edge. Wow, that does 50%. Crest can continue quicking Ice Beam on this. Now he's gonna go sack the Snorlax as it goes for another bulk up. Interesting. High Jump Kick. People, I beg you, High Jump Kick with Reckless is the same base power as Close Combat. I know you're bulk up, but please, God, just run fucking Close Combat. Run Close Combat Hitmonlee. Risking the High Jump Kick misses makes no sense. Run, return Ambipom. Just run your accurate moves, people. God, you're getting rewarded, but like, please just run the accurate moves. I'm begging you. In comes Slowbro again on the Infernape before it just cooks Flamethrower. But yeah. High Jump Kick Hitmonlee and double hit Ambipom. My God. In comes Empoleon on Toxic. Miss does not matter. What's Empoleon going to do here? In comes Hitmonlee. Empoleon is going to quick substitute. Oh, it could be a Pataya. Yeah. It is a Pataya set. It's taking 25%. Yep. It's just a knocks out of surface. It's definitely a Pataya set. Is it took exactly 1/4. In comes the Ambipom. Go into Gliscor. Calling the low kick. Yep. The Glyform trick. And then you get double hit. That will knock out the Gliscor. A double hit and a high jump kick KO. My God. Anyway, in comes Infernape. Infernape is good. Quick a button. Vacuum Wave. Yep. Free. Is this Infernape choice though? It's definitely in Grass Knot range now. No, it's HP something. I don't know. Something hits Slowbro really. Dragon just get toxic, but you just need damage on this Infernape. Flamethrower is good for you to KO you. Sacks off the Ambipom, but it's good. Quick Flamethrower. This might be the end of the game. Fake Out is going to do... Okay, never mind. Fake Out's going to do 40. Yeah, so Infernape's going to get well, but still, Infernape still has one more turn to KO something. Drapion is going to be the sack from Banana. What's Banana's last Pokemon? His last Pokemon is Metagross. It's got Earthquake. And Empoleon is Shuckaberry, though. Interesting. Surf is going to do a ton. Is not going to knock out, though. But can Metagross KO the Crest from 50? It was Cresselia. Cresselia just got outspeed and quick HP ground. Metagross is Shucka, but it's too low. And Lax is going to win 1-0 barely. This was the last game of the night, I guess. It's one to go off on. Frustration into a Ghost type and High Jump Kick Hitmonlee and double hit Life Orb Ambipom with Fake Out are certainly sets, but Lax is going to take home the win in his first EVP game. He's a great player. I'm not surprised, but yeah, this game took some years off my life here at the end. So with that, we're going to call it a night. Have a good one, everyone.